The overall crypto market is seeing a lot of volatility. In today's video, we're going to go over the most important events and catalysts that you need to be aware of as an investor in the market today. We're going to try and keep all this information in a short and concise format. So if you enjoy that, we'll make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and also for every single like this video gets, we're going to give away $1 in crypto. Just like the video and comment down below which crypto you want. We'll be announcing the winner tomorrow. Anyways, right now the overall crypto market is sitting at a $2.18 trillion market cap. And an interesting thing that has happened is that over the last couple of hours, we have seen Bitcoin's price see extreme volatility, and the whole crypto market have extreme volatility as Bitcoin's price briefly dropped below $45,500 per coin. We also saw that Ethereum's price drop back down below $4,000 per coin. But the interesting thing here in terms of technical indicators for the overall market is that we have consistently stayed in between this downward trending channel you can see right here. We've formed this ever since Bitcoin's price had that flash crash about a week and a half ago, but we have consistently bounced off of this support line right here. So we're still trading in between the channel, but the good news is that even though we saw earlier in the day Bitcoin's price drop below this channel, there was very strong support, a lot of buying pressure, and right now we are trading back in between this channel. In order to confirm a bullish breakout, bullish trend for the overall crypto market, we're going to need to get above at least that $49,500 per coin range on the 4-hour charts. When we look at the daily charts, though, something a little bit different. It's a little bit more bearish. When we look at the daily charts, we have seen that Bitcoin's price right now is still just hanging on above this 200-day simple moving average. Historically, this has acted as a very strong support, and even though earlier in the day we did drop below it, if we zoom in, we did drop below it. Let's get rid of these. The important thing here is that, again, we did see a very strong support and a lot of buying pressure as soon as we did drop below this level. So you can see we dropped below it. There still is a lot of buying pressure, but ultimately we need to see Bitcoin's price stay above this 200-day moving average on the daily charts in order for us to continue this bullish pattern and bullish trend for the next couple of months. Now let's talk about the Cardano, because a couple of big things have happened with Cardano and people are getting a bit worried. So recently, Cardano's price has been continuing to fall, been one of the worst performing cryptos in the market, even though it is one of my favorites. But the thing with Cardano is that even though it has dropped significantly over the last 90 days from all-time highs of over $3 per coin, now it's sitting around $1.20 per coin. The important part here, though, is that even if you are bearish on Cardano, you're bullish on Cardano, when you look at the charts, we have this triple bottom that has been forming where we hit it on the first day when we saw that flash crash, right around the first week of December. Then we saw again around December 11th to December 12th, we hit this bottom support line again. And then just recently we hit it for a third time. So even though Cardano's price has come down significantly over the last couple of months, important thing going on here is that we have had this very strong support at $1.19 per coin that we have really not broken below. So that is going to be crucial for Cardano moving forward. And that shows us that that is where a lot of people are accumulating. That's where there's a lot of buying pressure. And even today when we saw this bit of a crash happen again, still Cardano stayed above this. So ultimately, that is a very good sign for Cardano and could be that bullish reversal that we needed to take place. Last thing though with Cardano is some people are worried that Cardano is over, it's dead, that nothing's going to happen with it, that all these other coins are going to take over. And while we are going to go over some other potential coins that I'm investing in, I have not sold a single coin of Cardano because of a couple of big developments that have taken place. First is that they've been doing a lot of work with partnerships in around Africa, and this has had a lot of positive impact. It's not going to affect it directly like in the immediate short term, but longer term these partnerships could have huge impacts on Cardano's price. Other thing I want to go over though is with Hydra, because Cardano's price is in a position for a very bullish reversal, seeing a lot of upside because of Hydra and how it has launched its second pre-release. Hydra, for those who aren't familiar, is Cardano's layer 2 solution that was made possible by the Alonzo upgrade. And what this is going to do is everyone talks about like Polygon for Ethereum, one of my favorite projects. But with Hydra, essentially it's going to make Cardano more scalable, so able to process more transactions per second. It's going to be able to make it lower fees for any sort of transactions. It's going to make it more secure. And ultimately, this is what Cardano needs long-term in order to see more and more projects built on it. So Hydra, as we're seeing more and more development take place here, a lot of progress happening, this is something that could help trigger the next rally for Cardano. Because you could see IOHK came out on Twitter on December 15th, talked about all of the positive developments with Hydra. And that could be exactly what we needed to see Cardano's price push a bit higher. Next coin I want to talk about is going to be Avalanche, because Avalanche is a potential Cardano killer. A lot of people have said that Avalanche is one of the best layer 1 solutions out there. And with Avalanche, recently they've had a couple of big announcements come out from institutional investors, which is one of the main reasons why I've been invested in this really since around $25 per coin when we first talked about it on the channel. The first thing is that crypto custodian BitGo just added support for Avalanche, as institutional investors have been requesting it a lot more, and after Avalanche has had this massive rally this year. What this means is that not only that BitGo is a trusted platform, allows institutions to get access to crypto, but like to Avalanche. But the important thing here is that this announcement, given the enterprise push for Avalanche and the institutional support for Avalanche, is only going to help push it forward even more, because recently there's been a lot of announcements about potential issues with Solana and Cardano. So Avalanche seeing this increase of institutional interest, seeing that now institutional investors can easily access AVAX on BitGo, well, this is something that could propel the price even higher, because now it's easier for institutions to access, easier for retail investors to access, and it's just going to mean more capital coming in. Next thing with Avalanche is that that they recently had a partnership with Mastercard. They were chosen to be part of Mastercard's Crypto Accelerator program. And while you may not think this is so important, this is a very selective program, and not many companies or projects get added to this program. But now Avalanche is officially part of the Start Path crypto program with Mastercard. And if you're looking at payment processing, you're looking at financial institutions, Mastercard is definitely a very gold standard for payment processing space, and being in partnership with them is only going to help with Avalanche's development moving forward. Last two things with Avalanche before we get on to the next coin is going to be with Bank of America. Bank of America recently came out and released a very optimistic report about Avalanche. They said ultimately Avalanche does have the ability to, potentially overtake Ethereum. Not right now, but they have had a lot in terms of being able to process significantly more transactions per second. They've had a lot of development take place. They have over 380 projects that have been built on the ecosystem, and Bank of America has flipped very bullish on Avalanche, even at its current prices, because right now Avalanche is around that $100 per coin range, which puts it in terms of market cap right at that $25 billion per coin, $25 billion market cap. They're saying ultimately, even at this price, they are still very bullish on it. Next thing I want to talk about is going to be Solana, because Solana's had some issues lately, but it's also another one of those potential Cardano killers. It has surpassed Cardano in terms of market cap, but it has had some positives, some negatives. So let's go over that. Grayscale recently launched a new trust dedicated to Solana, and this was a very big deal because Grayscale doesn't have trust for every single crypto out there, and doing this just makes it easier and easier for institutions to access Solana and be able to invest in it, because a lot of the times institutions don't want to invest directly in crypto, so they invest in all these different Grayscale products like Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, Grayscale Ethereum Trust, and now there is a Grayscale Solana Trust. So this is going to help increase institutional dollars coming into Solana. Second thing is that just following this announcement from Grayscale, we saw another firm, Galaxy Digital, come out and debut their Solana fund for institutional investors as well. So all of this is showing us that more and more institutions are requesting access to Solana. More of them want to get involved, and even though Solana's price is currently sitting around that $179 per coin range, it still has significant upside. And I think during this bull market, as long as we see prices bounce back, I think Solana can easily return to its previous all-time highs of around $250 to $260 per coin very, very quickly, because of this institutional demand, because of all these new funds they've come out with, and for all of those different reasons. Last thing with them is that they've also just had a couple of issues. So we've talked about how they've had a lot of institutional interest. They've They've been gaining and growing very quickly, but they have had some issues. One of these is that the network has crashed a couple of times. So when you're investing in Solana, you need to be aware of this because a lot of people have been concerned with Solana's network crashing. Recently, SolChicks, which is a game that we've talked about multiple times on the channel, I invested in it pre-IDO, like I told you guys to. Well, with SolChicks, there was so much demand for this token, for this project, that it actually crashed the Solana network. And this is not the first time we have seen this happen. It's happened multiple times in the past. So ultimately, we're going to need to keep an eye out on this moving forward, because if this becomes a recurring issue, more than just once or twice, if this becomes a recurring issue for Solana, well, then that could put Solana's price at a bit of a risk and put its ecosystem at a bit of a risk, because people are going to be looking towards other projects, potentially like Avalanche or Cardano or other ecosystems out there to build on, because people want to make sure their money and their businesses are secure when building on Solana. So even though Solana is a new project, we're going to need to keep an eye out on what happens with its network. Is it going to continue to experience more crashes moving forward? Because if so, that could be a potential issue. But right now, I don't think that's an issue. I think fine, Solana's in a good place. I think it still very well could reach that $250, $300 per coin range very, very quickly, like within a week or two, as long as the market bounces back. If we see the market bounce back, Bitcoin's price breaks above 50K, well, then we would see that 250 price very, very shortly for Solana. Last thing is going to be with Cardano. This is by far one of my favorite layer one ecosystems right now in terms of risk reward. When we're looking at the risk reward for Cardano, it has so much reward potential. This could easily be a 10, 15x project right now, because currently it's sitting right around $10 per coin. When we look at what the market cap is, it's sitting right around a $2 billion market cap. Over the last couple of days, we've been talking about how this project, when it was at $9 per coin, was a great time to be buying, because this project, if you aren't familiar, is able to process significantly more transactions per second than Solana, able to process 480,000 transactions per second. Not only that, but it also has a very solid team. Its team was for people who worked at JP Morgan, from people who worked at Apple, from people who worked at all of these major, like not only financial institutions, but in the crypto space, in the tech space, and the team is very, very solid behind it. So as a result of this, Cardano, in my opinion, is one of the most undervalued layer one ecosystems out there. During a bull market, I could easily see Cardano's price and its market cap get to a $20 billion market cap, because when you're looking at layer one ecosystems right now with all these capabilities in terms of NFT marketplaces, in terms of transactions per second, Cardano right now is by far the lowest in terms of market cap, even though some of its features, some of its capabilities are much, much better and more efficient than other platforms out there. So anyways, that's what's going on with crypto. All of these projects, in my opinion, are potential, are all very solid. Like Cardano, Avalanche, Solana, Cardano, all of them are very solid. Just people are continuing to get worried about Cardano because the price has been dropping. And this is one of the many reasons why I always say, don't invest all your money into Cardano. Don't invest all your money into Cardano. Make sure you're diversified, because all of these projects could easily be, huge winners in the layer one DeFi space. So as a result of this, just wanted to share all these projects with you, some of the pros, some of the cons, and what's going on in the market. But I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for another episode. See ya.